Sports Walk is back. Watch Season 2 of Backpack Broadcasting's original web series that brings you the opinions of real sports fans. The entire first season and current season are available now on the Sports Walk YouTube channel and Facebook page. Check out the 2017 NYC WebFest official selection and see what other sports fans have to say on the hottest issues in sports today. It's easy. Just take the Sports Walk. From the Gotham Podcast Studio, episode 78 of the AHTT Podcast. Dexter, Henry, Bryan, Fonseca in the building. Fresh off of a birthday, feeling good in my 36th year of life. Rejuvenated. I was tired lately. Now I'm feeling better.
And you had a massive paella on Friday or whatever.
Yo, so good. So good. First, I hadn't had paella in a while, and I had one, just a dish on my birthday at this Cuban spot in Yonkers.
It looked exhausting.
No, there's nothing exhausting about eating that. It was I felt exhausted after, but I did something active after. I went and did some indoor skydiving right after that. Man. Now we'll get to that in a second.
No, we'll get to that now. We can talk about that now.
So
you
Bryan,
posted a video on Facebook of you indoor skydiving.
What was your reaction to the video?
One,
yes.
LOL. Two,
wow.
Two.
Why? Why is it funny that I'm indoor skydiving?
It's just like when I saw you on the trapeze that one time for
that
this
was
News
different.
12
See,
story,
I can see how that was.
That
funny.
was hilarious also. But then for this, I was just like, you know what? Then my second thought was, this is how I need to experience skydiving, because I'm not going to actually go and jump out of a plane like we talked about on the previous episode.
That's really disappointing.
That I wouldn't jump out of a plane.
Yeah.
Why? If I may ask.
I think you should do it, man.
Why?
It's an experience, a new experience. You should understand.
It's like Bill Burr says, the best thing that could happen is you land on the ground.
No, the
and
best
survive.
I think that's I said this before. It's a very short-sighted way of looking at it. The best thing that happens is you experience flying through the sky.
No,
that's the
you.
best thing.
No, thank you.
That's the best
indoor
thing that
skydiving, though, I'm here for. I'll do that. And maybe if I like that enough, I'll do it. But remember, I'm the same person that doesn't like roller coasters.
Now, look, I went indoor skydiving. I wanted to do outdoor skydiving. That will be coming next very soon. There also will be video provided for that, guaranteed.
Oh my
guaranteed that's coming. I thoroughly enjoyed the experience.
Do you have the trapeze video?
Somewhere on my phone.
You need to play that.
I will, if we can, I will put this in the video version of the episode. You will see me indoor skydiving, which was dope. The trapeze video was interesting. I feel like I have 3 funny activity videos now that people like on social
and the
media.
other one, wait.
Sledding?
Yeah.
That was funny.
For a hit, though. Like, how do you not get an Emmy nomination for that?
It was great. It was fun. It was great. Like, I'm glad I didn't do it live, but that was funny.
Have you been nominated for an Emmy yet?
No.
Oh, we need to fix that.
I'm doing what I can. We'll see.
You're like, I'm doing what
other
I
people
can.
aren't doing what they can.
Have you been nominated for an award ever? If I have, you definitely have.
No, I have not.
Really?
No.
I keep getting nominated.
Outside of being
winning.
selected for, outside of Sports Walk being selected for NYC WebFest, that counts.
That counts.
Yeah, so that was nominated. It wasn't personal. It wasn't personal, but it was a whole thing.
All I got is New York Press Association. 6-time nominee.
It's something.
Sports Writer of the Year, Feature Writer of the Year.
Yeah.
Didn't win yet.
You break through.
Yeah.
Like you'll break through and do it jumping out of plane. That's what you're going to do.
No, that's not going to happen.
It's why is it? Okay, so you saw this, and you said you laughed. Don't know why.
Just seeing you in the air is funny.
Why? Why? Why is that funny?
It's funny. Like,
people skydive every day.
Yeah, but not you. Like, it's a little different.
Yeah, what's not?
Like if I
person.
Like if I saw, I don't know, Seth Rollins skydiving, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's a professional wrestler. He does high risk things, or Jeff Hardy or whatever. Yeah, it will make a little sense. But you know, it's funny.
I can do high risk things.
Yeah, I saw you on a trapeze.
Yeah, so this shouldn't be funny.
No, but this is different.
Has there been something I've been like, oh, I wouldn't go experience?
No, the trapeze one, remember, We were filming Lewis's sports walk in Chelsea or wherever it was, and when you showed us the video, I was laughing so hard that I had a headache.
Well, because and the reason so people are not going to understand what it was because where we were filming Lewis's sports walk, if you watch the first episode of last season, you will see that it's by Chelsea Piers, and on top of Chelsea Piers is Trapeze School of New York. You can see it above it if you're across the street on the West Side Highway. You can see the school, and actually a former coworker of mine at News 12, Dana Arsham, who now works for Fox, she was an instructor there. So she's actually the one that set up the story that I ended up doing in News 12, and she teaches there. And the one at Chelsea Pier is all outdoors. You're like up top in the building. The one I did at their other school in Brooklyn is indoors, but it's completely fine.
This is why I get annoyed when people say.
So would you do the trapeze?
Huh?
Would you do the trapeze?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I'm gonna find that video. I will post a video if we can. In this,
do I have to show my arms like you did?
You didn't have to, but I like my arms.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm like, I have no shame.
I'll do it shirtless. Doing that. Yeah,
I'll do it shirtless. That'll be better for comedic.
Well, they didn't let me do that for News 12. Well, they were like, you can go up there, but to do a stand up, they were like, no, you can't do that.
I'm not gonna do stand up there.
They said it was too much for the ladies. That's what my producer said.
Did you say that you're practically married?
They said it was too much for the ladies. That's all. I'm just relating.
This is why I get annoyed when my friends say, "Oh, you're a sports podcast." Like, no, we're not.
We do more than that. See, just like I'm more than just a reporter or a podcaster, I can get up and do some daring stuff.
Yeah,
I can go skydiving.
Yeah,
I can get on trapeze.
Don't you hate when people put you in a box?
You try to put me in a box. That's why you laughed.
That's not true.
It is true.
I just laughed because I saw you in midair. I didn't say you were incapable.
You said you didn't expect it of me. You expected of those other WWE guys. Whatever that means.
That's a little more, you know what I mean? Like,
no.
If I ever saw you jumping off a ladder and elbowing somebody, you know what I mean? Like, that would be something I didn't see coming.
Probably, but somehow
that's a dimension of Dexter that I didn't see.
I could see
now you're Daredevil Dex.
I don't like that name. I don't like that name. Oh, I don't like that name. Somehow I see you enjoying me jumping off of a ladder and elbowing somebody.
Oh yeah,
there'd be so much enjoyment for you.
You got the size for it too.
Okay.
I mean, and so do I, as you can see.
Now, what I will say is indoor skydiving. Are you familiar with what it is or what you have to do in indoor skydiving? Or was this kind of like?
I know what it is, but like I don't know the specifics that you probably do, having experienced it.
So
we're about to do the deep dive into indoor skydiving.
We're not gonna go deep dive into it, but you're in this like in the building. There's a tube you're kind of in. Where there's like a huge vent and fans that come up from the bottom.
That's what I was wondering. How do you get in midair?
Yes.
Because I imagine for me, it's going to be easier to get in midair than it was for you. Because I'm only like 5'8".
So when people watch the video, if you're watching the video version of this podcast, you'll see like I'm coming out of, there's a door where you go into the tube. And you literally, what you have to do is you have to keep your hands out. And then you lean forward. Now
like Superman's.
Kind of like Superman. The key really thing to staying up is keeping your head up. You can't look down. The instant you start looking down is when your body automatically starts sinking down.
Yeah.
You got to relax. You got to keep your legs straight.
It's an ab workout.
When you're trying to go up, you have to curl your legs. So it's interesting. The people who are professionals, like the instructors in there, they know how to do all this stuff. There was instructors in there, and I have another video. I'll show this. There's an instructor who was doing all kinds of flips and stuff in there, and I'm like, yo, I want to get to that level because it was crazy what they can do in there.
I don't want to flip in midair. I don't think so.
Yeah, you do.
I don't think I do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Nah.
Would you want to flip it? Would you want to flip in a plane in midair?
No.
You have to do that. It's fantastic.
If I'm in a wrestling ring,
would you want to roll in a plane in midair?
Does a 630 splash count? I can't do a 630. No. Does a 450 splash count?
Nothing for wrestling counts. It's not real.
Moonsault's a flip. You better relax.
It's not real. So you'd rather do that, but you don't want to do a flip in a plane.
Yeah.
I've done a flip in a plane. It's pretty great.
No, thank you.
See, I've done more things that you don't even think I would have done.
I probably have too, just you would say that they're a little different.
Oh, they're not real?
No.
Like wrestling? Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yes. Anyway, so that's what it is. You're in there and you got all this air pressure coming up and you're kind of just floating. And I did 2 flights. The first time you go, the guy was kind of just showing you how to relax, how to stay, how to move about in the thing. And then the second time, they took you on a high flight. And that's the video that people are seeing where I went up with the instructor and then back down a couple of times in a circular motion.
I've done a flip plane paintball before. That I do remember. Don't ask.
You said like you strike me as the kind of person that would love paintball.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Oh,
you know
yeah.
what? You know what I found in common?
Yeah.
I think a lot of you wrestling lovers love the paintball because I have a cousin who's like that. He loved wrestling growing up, still does. Shout out
you want to go this summer?
Purnell.
You want to go this summer?
I like paintball.
Ain't hard to tell paintball.
I've paintball. Paintball is dope. Paintball is quite dope.
We'll get a bunch of people.
Yo, I'll take it seriously.
I do too. I roll on the ground. What do you mean?
Of course you do. Of course you do. Maybe I don't take it that seriously.
You got to remember, like, the athlete is still here. The athlete is still in me.
Is it?
You know what I'm saying?
Is it, or the violence is still in you?
You got to relax.
Or what? It's going to be violent?
Listen.
Oh, man.
Listen.
So are we getting you to go indoor skydiving?
Probably.
You would probably do it.
I could be talked into that. Yeah, indoor skydiving, yeah.
But I think you would enjoy it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's nothing. It's a very relaxing experience.
That's different because I know I'm going to come down and be fine.
But
you know
you're going to... Wait.
Outdoor skydiving is, you know what I'm saying?
You know you're going to come down in outdoor skydiving and be fine.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, you do.
I don't like heights, bro. Like, nah.
And that's the thing with this indoor skydiving. You're not really going to go that high.
That's what I'm saying. Indoor, fine. Outdoor, no. No, thank you. Nah, bro. I'm good.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
The only reason why I could look out of a window of a plane that I'm in is because when I look down, all I see is clouds.
So you would jump off of a ladder and elbow somebody in the face.
Yes.
But you would not jump out of a plane.
Yeah, you're talking about 25 feet versus 25,000 feet. Yes.
You have a parachute in one, you could land on your elbow wrong and break it. I feel like there's more safety measures in place than jumping out of the plane.
I'd rather wrestle.
Wow. Just wow.
I also like wrestling more than, skydiving.
You haven't skydived. You don't know that you like it.
No. See, here's the thing.
You didn't even think about that.
No, I had to come back, but I'm not. Let's move on.
Before this podcast, Bryan showed me a picture, a throwback picture, that by the time you're listening to this podcast, you will have seen. And this picture is of Bryan.
Oh, you want me to send it to you so you could put it on the...
Oh, we'll put it in there. But by the time somebody listens to this, if they're not watching, they will have seen this because you'll have posted it already. And it is of Bryan getting his hair braided. Although he was wearing the right gear, he had on a Jets jersey from when he was a Jets fan. And it was a Darrelle Revis jersey. Shout out to my homie Darrelle Revis. And this was... what I'll say is when you look at this picture, it looks like Bryan at the point in his life where he likes to tell me that he probably embraced violence maybe a little bit more than he does now.
That's not true.
We're at the same level?
I mean...
Nothing's changed but the hair?
No. Wait.
He was getting his hair braided, by the way, folks, if I did not say that.
Yeah, let me figure this out. First of all, that was the same day as the AFC Championship game. I will say that much. The second one. So I was 17 years old. This is January 2011.
Such a good picture.
I was in high school. There's many pictures too.
So good.
Yeah, I was getting my hair braided.
He's got a pimple on like his left or right cheek.
This is the second time I got it braided, and I got it once more right before track season, wearing do-rags and stuff like that when I was running. That was my thing.
Oh my God!
I had to.
People, if you see this picture, and you're looking at this picture,
I need to bring.
It's amazing.
I need to bring one of my friends from high school up here just so you could ask them all the questions you have.
We have tons of great questions to ask.
You have so many
questions.
But I don't know who I would bring because I'm not really cool with a lot of them like that anymore. We just kind of like, it's not like a respect or disrespect thing. We just kind of lost contact and just, And
so people right now are probably wondering why I brought up this picture or what this picture has anything to do with in terms of something we're talking about.
Oh, and regarding the violence, no, I was fine. I'm not confrontational, as you people may think. The only difference with me and certain other people is I'm not really scared.
Nobody listening or watching this believes that because I don't.
All right, fine.
He's confrontational.
Look, sometimes
he loves to play GTA and watch wrestling, and sometimes thinks about slapping people in the street.
Yet I don't.
These are all things that have been said on this podcast.
But I don't make sense because at the same time, you would picture someone like me being a heavy drinker, and I'm not.
Why would I picture you being a heavy drinker?
Violence, video games.
Oh, those are connected? I never connected those.
They usually are more often than not.
Maybe I stay away from those people. Maybe that's it.
I'm good. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. But the reason I brought this up was Bryan showed me this picture and it then got me to a question I've had for quite some time, which is, have you ever done anything that you think is stupid, you regret, or you wouldn't do anymore because of hip hop? Right? And actually, this topic, your picture reminded me of it because of something my friend told me. My friend asked me this question. My friend asked me, he said, have you ever done anything that was like, you did it because of hip hop culture, something you saw. And he told me about
the clothes.
Well, a lot of people's fashion, right?
I think for most people, it'll be clothes and then actually trying to rap. That's what I think it'll be.
You think so?
For most people, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, clothes, hairstyles could be that too, to some degree.
What are you trying to say? I look good. I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't say that.
I didn't show you the picture of me with the afro. I got that.
I didn't say it. Nobody said you didn't look good. I'm just saying at the time, and maybe going back a little bit further.
It's an example of how defensive I could be.
Yes, definitely an example. That the cornrow style was a little bit more popular in that era of hip hop.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Hence why you're not rocking it today. Now.
I had it when Kawhi Leonard was a rookie. Before Kawhi Leonard was a rookie. Actually.
I wish Kawhi Leonard would kind of let that go, but that's a whole other story.
Nah, that's his thing. Let him own it.
I'll share mine. When I don't know when I did this. I was probably somewhere in high school. So back in the day, if people remember Jay-Z's "Do It Again" song, 3 cuts in your eyebrow, trying to wild out. I had 3 slashes in my eyebrow.
I did that before.
And I did
Not
that.
3, but I had.
But I would never. Could you see me now at 36 with that?
Nah.
No.
But you can see me now with at 25 with 1 or 2.
No.
You can't see that?
No.
Well, up until last year,
No.
up until last year or the year before. No, I think it was the year before. I don't know. Up until 2 or 3 years ago, I was getting the lines in my head.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's different.
But then I stopped doing it because
I'm gonna tell you why I stopped. I'll tell you what I stopped doing. I was this is my senior year at the University of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I was doing a sit down interview with the women's head coach at the time, Agnes Baronato. Shout out to her. She has a current fight with cancer right now. So shout out to her. She's doing well. Sitting down and doing an interview with her. And before the interview, she looked at me. She looks at me like this, just like you're sitting across from me. She's like, "Dexter, you're a very handsome guy." Which I was like, "Yeah, I am. Thank you." And she was like, "Yo, but that."
She pointed at the eyebrow for people listening.
At the eyebrow and my earring. I used to rock an earring in my left ear.
Oh, I remember that. Young Dex.
No, you never saw it.
No, but I saw that on YouTube.
Yeah, I was like, you never seen me in person.
I saw that on YouTube with Michael Bellamy.
Yes.
Michael Bellamy, yes. That was great.
She was
you were on a football field, dress shirt, little baggy shirt.
With the earring.
Yeah, with the earring.
Awful. Just
killing
awful.
it.
Just
no,
awful.
no, you was killing it.
No, I wasn't.
You had the one Barry Bonds earring. It was great.
No, it was great.
It was great.
She told me the one Barry Bonds earring and the 3 cuts in my eyebrow. She was like, has to go. Basically, her point was, if you're ever going to make it in doing what you're doing in TV, it's not going to rock.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
Now, here's the thing. I used to be the person that was kind of like, oh, I want to, Rage Against the Machine. Not going to do that.
I'm that person now.
I agree.
To some degree.
To some degree.
Yeah.
To some degree, she is right. To some degree, she was wrong. It doesn't mean that. I think now there's actually, because there's more opportunities, you can do that and be more of who you are and what you want to be.
We probably wouldn't do the podcast the same way 10 years ago.
Were you going to wear a suit and tie?
No, but what?
Nobody wants to see that.
No, hell no. But more people would be doing it that way. You know what I mean?
Maybe. You know what I'm saying? To that point, I understand. But that was kind of my only 2 things. I guess I feel like the 3 cuts in your eyebrow kind of was from a song and lyrics. And, when you had those in your eyebrows, everybody would say that line. So it was kind of that. But, that's it. But you want to hear my boys? My boys is a million times better.
Way better than ours.
All right. To anybody who has the time, before we get into this, if you're too young, you might not know this. I have a feeling you will know this video.
Okay.
Do you remember the phone tap video?
Oh, no.
The Firm.
Oh, no. What did he do?
Do you remember the phone tap video?
Yes, I remember.
Do you remember in that video, I believe it was...
Will you be able to put B-roll from the video?
Nas? I believe I can.
Yeah, you can.
I believe it was Nas. I can't remember if it was Nas or AZ. I don't remember who it was. But one of them was ironing money. They were ironing $100 bills. They were pressing it on the ironing board, right? And so my boy tells me that at whatever age he is, 13, I don't know how we were when that song came out, he pressed money on his ironing board. He ironed his money. And I was like, what money were you ironing? You didn't have money. I was like, did you even have a job? No. What were you ironing? And he was, are you ironing ones? That's what he was doing.
Why? Just because he saw it in the video?
He saw it in the video.
There has to be some...
Just because he saw it in the video.
I definitely, because especially since that era, I was definitely young and impressionable. I definitely took the baggy clothes thing. I was doing that up until like I got to college. Like I hung on for too long on that. I know that was the era, but like I wasn't out of that until 2014.
I don't think I got out of it until I got out of college, so I can't judge you for it.
No, until you got out of no, it was longer than that. It was probably longer than that, right?
Well, for me, no. I probably started slimming my clothes down and dressing like a grown man when I'd say probably about like 23, probably a year or two out of college. My style started changing a lot.
Me was 20, my second year of college.
Yeah,
but
that's good for you. But
that's
for
20,
you,
but that's 2014,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people were sort of on that skinny wave.
Yeah, you're still rocking that 2014.
Not OD, not like super big.
You got pics?
Maybe.
Yeah, we got to see those pictures. We got to see those pictures. Wow.
Maybe.
Wow.
But not crazy.
Because I don't remember meeting you and ever seeing that.
No, because by the time I met you, I was wholesome.
Thank
I was,
God.
you know what I'm saying? I was taken care of.
Yeah, let me tell you.
I was the way I am now.
I'm going to be honest about this. Had I saw Bryan presented like that, we would not be doing this podcast.
Probably not.
No.
I'd
have been like,
the first time you saw me, I had a pink polo.
Yeah, good memory.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, good memory.
Because that was one of my go-tos back then.
Fake pink Cameron, pink polo wearing.
I got the
Kanye kind of self.
No, I will not be associated with Senora West. I was wearing the pink because I think it was in October because it was breast cancer awareness, and I had the breast cancer awareness wristbands.
Look at you!
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. I did that because I was playing football. Now we're going on to the whole thing. But
yes, we still have to get back to the fact of the craziest thing you've done.
But there was a team. But there was that was pretty much it. Just the baggy clothes, but hanging on for a while. You know what I'm saying?
So you hung on.
You gotta remember. I was an underground hip hop head first. You know what I'm saying?
You hung on too long.
Yeah. I'm admitting that because I saw the shift while I was in high school.
Yeah.
Probably. So I was in high school between 08 and 12. So that's when I saw the shift. It was after Lil Wayne. So it was like between 9. But the shift it was like to skinny stuff. And Jay-Z also said, I don't wear jerseys in 30 plus, whatever. Yeah. So people just started, dressing differently because he said so, because everyone's followers and dick riders. But yeah. So 10, 11, shout out to Jay-Z though, B-Sides concert, all that stuff. Heard it was great.
I won't talk about my disappointment about not getting the contest, but you can check out my Young Black and Gifted freestyle I posted on Twitter.
Which is really well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really well done.
What's it called? Gave me the tickets.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody did better than me that I saw. I'm sorry. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all another thing.
But yeah, around that time I saw the shift. And I just didn't.
I
was like, nah, forget that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it thorough for a couple more years, you know what I'm saying? And then 2014, I was like, yeah, I gotta clean this up.
Yeah. So that's the worst thing you did. My homegirl told me one, but I'm gonna save that for off.
And then things got more successful when that happened.
See?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Coach Baronato was trying to tell me.
I think that's what led me to a life of more activity.
I want to know what you were trying to clean up here. Because it sounds like you're trying to clean up something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
for you listeners at home,
clean up your act so you can have a life of more activity.
Yo, it's like, and not to bring this dude up, but it's like one time Freddie Gibbs said on his Instagram story, it was hilarious. He said like, yo, if you still wearing like mama jeans and stuff like that, I'm just gonna assume that you just got out of jail. So get away from me. Get away from me with that.
Yo,
stuff.
I understand the perception he has around that and where he's coming from. Like, I get it. Bryan also brought to my attention something I did not know before this podcast. And I know he's very excited and very passionate to get into this subject.
No, not really.
One of the things,
but it's just like people need to understand, like, it's okay to sort of address certain things. You know what I mean?
So
it's okay.
There was I don't know how to qualify this person.
I'll do that.
No. I will say what they consider themselves. They consider themselves an NBA writer and
Don't.
reporter.
No.
I
was gonna say, don't say the outlet.
No. We ain't gonna give them any time. We're not gonna give them the what they looking for.
Because that's everybody. See, that's why people are throwing darts at a wall and hoping one of them hits the bullseye.
Way too smart for that on this show.
Yeah.
They consider themselves an NBA writer and reporter, and I like to say the word consider. Or the perception is, as I told Christian Winfield, perception is what people have. This is what they think that they are. That's fine. But this person sent out a tweet in which they said that they, the reporter, asked a source in the NBA front office what he thinks Russell Westbrook's value is, and then posted a quote. And the quote says, probably the second worst contract in the league behind Wall. Now, I want to relay this to people as Bryan told this to me. Bryan's telling me this story moments before this podcast. He tells me the story, and immediately in my head, I said, I heard this before, and I knew I didn't read it. I had heard it before this week. So, Bryan, would you like to tell the people or play for the people? Let's play the audio of where this is from.
Conversation with an executive I really, really respect. I mean, I respect all of them, but a guy that I think is particularly good. 3 months ago, over dinner in Anonymous City X, and he ranked at number 2 before this. And let's not mince words. This playoff run, it's not a run, this playoff fall is a disaster for Russell Westbrook.
Now, that is from the Zach Lowe's Low Post podcast. I
really, really respect. I mean, I respect all of them, but a guy that I think...
No, that's not
it. That's not the clip you had played for me before. There's a clip where he says exactly that. But that is from Zach Lowe's Low Post podcast. Podcast I'm a fan of. I listen to all the time, and a lot of NBA junkies like myself will listen to that as well. Now, recently, this week on his podcast, I'm forgetting who his first guest was this week. He dropped 2 podcasts, but he was talking about him having talked to about Russell Westbrook to another person, and the person said that it was probably the second worst contract in the league behind John Wall. Here's the thing. Is it possible that this same person talked to the exact same executive? Possibly, in my opinion, not likely. Okay? Possibly not likely at all whatsoever. And this, it appears, and Bryan's trying to say with his fucking face, it appears that this, I'm doing air quotes so people can't see, reporter jacked this quote from what Zach Lowe talked about.
Look, people need to stop bullshitting. All right, like that's basically what it is.
The anger.
It's like, no, it's we're in April. All right. We're heading into a dangerous time.
Yes, we are.
We're heading into a dangerous time on the internet where a lot of people are going to start fabricating reports and start putting bullshit out there so that other people can think that they have sources, that they're plugged in, that they're doing the reporting that we know the people who are actually doing the reporting are doing. Like a Woj or a Chris Haynes or our boy Mike Scotto or our boy Ian Begley or friend of the show Howard Beck or Zach Lowe, for example, right? And there's a lot of other people who are trying to get in the game. Respect that you're trying to get in the game. I get it. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Cool. Right? You want to be a newsbreaker. You want to be plugged in. Sure. But why don't you get in the game by actually getting in the game as opposed to acting like you're getting in the game? You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, a lot of people just want to be famous. There's this overwhelming rush to be famous for whatever it is they want to do, and they just want the recognition, and they just want to, send their tweets out to a whole bunch of different accounts, so then those NBA retweet accounts could retweet them, so then they could get popular. Or there's, other people that like to say things like, I'm hearing this and I'm hearing that and I'm hearing this, and then nothing's actually coming of it, nothing's actually happening, and things like that. We're just seeing a lot of lying going on now, and I need consumers to be smarter. I need consumers to actually work just a little bit harder, just to understand that, a lot of this is bullshit, and a lot of these people that people are listening to and people are writing their aggregation posts about, that people are sort of getting their news source from and trying to throw into their group chats and being like, oh, is this true? Is this not? Listen, man, when you hear from one of maybe 10 people, you'll know. Because the agents, the executives, the scouts, the GMs, the players, they've decided who they're going to give their news to for the most part. Occasionally, you'll get somebody like me who breaks something. Occasionally. I'm not a newsbreaker, but I've broken news before. I know what that feeling is like. They're trying to. So let's get that straight, right? So we have all these people. They've decided who the sort of gatekeepers are. People are feeding things to Woj and Shams and Chris Haynes and Ian Begley, and they trust them. Those are the good reporters that have been doing it for a long time. So the other people trying to get in the game, look, I get it, but you have to be good at this before you can be popular. And that's what a lot of people are losing sight of now.
But see, it's dangerous because those people are very aware of the power of how easily they can put a quote out and what can happen there. And also just want to make sure I give full credit. That was from the Low Post episode, dropped on April 24th. With Kevin Arnovitz, who was the guest.
Probably gonna have to do some editing around that because that was clunky.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. So you can go list that himself. What is interesting is, and somebody commented on the tweet and said the podcast was put out before the tweet by a well-respected reporter. Sounds rather similar to the tweet. That's really, really awful, to put it mildly. I would say yes, that is putting it mildly. It is stealing, like I said. I will say that there is a possibility that this so-called reporter definitely talked to the same source. However, if you were
not given his track record,
yeah, that matters. However, if respected reporter Zach Lowe comes out with something first, then you need to attribute that, even if you heard it from the same. Hey, I heard the same thing. Because you could easily do this and say nobody would question as much. I heard the same thing from a similar source that Zach Lowe said on his podcast. Think about how different that tweet plays.
Yeah.
Now you're just like, oh well, I'm just saying I heard the same thing
even then would be like, really?
Maybe, but sometimes things come out.
Oh no, I'm saying in this case.
Yeah, I could say this for sure. There are things that have come out that I've heard from other people and other sources around a bunch of things in sports, and then I see it reported by somebody else, and I'm like, oh, I knew that already.
That happens to me with net stuff.
That
actually happens to me with net stuff a good amount.
There's stuff with the Nets and different information that we have from sources in there. There's stuff from different team and people I know around
boxing
certain
too.
things.
That happens to me with boxing and MMA a lot.
And it happens.
Yeah.
But you don't discredit and act like you got it on your own.
See,
that's what's wrong.
That's this rush to show everybody like, oh, I'm plugged in. People are coming to me. I'm one of the gatekeepers now. I'm one of the first people to get news and things like that. When people don't want to focus on just doing a good job anymore.
Well, here's the thing. I keep saying the fake always gets exposed. The ones who aren't being real, they'll always be exposed.
My concern is it's taking too long for some people. Some people have been here for they've worn out their welcome.
But
we are going into a dangerous time this summer. So we're gonna see.
Not welcome.
We're gonna see what happens in July. We're gonna see what happens in July because the NBA, the transactions are heavy in July. There's going to be a lot of reporting, and not all of it's going to be good, and not all of it's going to be accurate.
See, here's the thing. All the people that report the stuff we're talking, let's say, well, forget even July. Let's talk about late June. Let's get before the draft and right up to the beginning of free agency for the NBA. All these people that are going to be putting out these reports and some of these fake reports, they will be exposed to. We have seen in the last year several people talk about before last year where LeBron was going to go, what LeBron was going to do. Now this is shifted over into KD, and there'll be other people doing it, acting as though they know. What's interesting is there have already been some of those people who's been proven that they don't know what they're talking about. Now, for those people that I think what you're talking about is, well, there's still people following them. There's still people looking at their tweets every day. There's still people doing this and that. I want to say a little bit of what you said. Those people, I don't think understand what good sourcing is in terms of news. So maybe they don't want to go to the Woj's, the Zach Lowe's, because I think there's a difference I've started to notice between the kind of person you're mentioning that's putting out the fake news and the people who aren't. The difference is the people that are putting out the fake news, you know what they do a little bit more with the people that follow them? They interact with them a little bit more. And they let those fans feel that they're somewhat accessible.
Yep.
And those people like that because now they feel like they're closer to the end.
Mhm.
Whereas Woj, Zach Lowe, or Howard Beck, or Ian Begley, and any of our friends, they just do their job. They interact with fans, but they don't have the time to do it on that fake level these other people do. You know why? Because they're working.
Yeah.
They're really working. They're really doing their jobs, right? They're not out here just playing. When you're playing games, and you're talking about where people are going to go and, insiders, you're talking about secret meetings and all this stuff that didn't happen and you're making this stuff up.
Yeah.
You ain't working. You're not plugged in. This is what's happening. So my thing is the people that are paying attention to that for the most part are the people that they want something more out of that social media experience. And that's why they're going there. They're not like you and I, where we're following Woj or Zach Lowe or Howard Beck and these guys because we want to find out the real information. We want the information first. We want it accurate. There's people that value it.
I don't need it.
There's people that don't.
I don't need to have it first.
There's people who don't value it.
Yeah, it's just the level of insecurity.
It's laughable to me.
It is.
I don't think,
but it's also dangerous for some of us who are doing this work. Honestly,
does it really take away from the real though? That's
because some people don't take the time out to really differentiate the two.
But they will be lost in the end, right?
But they're not lost yet. So until they're lost,
what makes you think they're not lost now?
What do you mean?
They're lost in terms of if you're holding on to these fake dudes who are tweeting about what's going to happen with KD and et cetera and whatnot. If you're the person following them and you're hanging on to their every word, you hear what I'm saying? They're already lost.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you can save that person. I don't know if I care to save that person.
It's going to be very.
I don't think it affects the real journalism that's going out until you have. I guess I understand fundamentally what you're saying is that those people can then spread more fake news. That's not necessarily good for that.
It gives people
community.
more reason to hate the media.
That's fair. Like that's fair. I see that. I definitely see that.
Because I know how much I put into this. Right. I'm not trying to be a newsbreaker, but I'm saying I know how much I put into digital media, all the things that I'm doing. And if certain other people are going to do things that's going to take away from what I'm doing, then we're going to have a problem.
What's funny? What's funny? I'd like to, I don't remember if we had asked this person here, but I'd like, somebody who's done a little bit of news breaking or is kind of pushing into the world like our boy Michael Scotto, somebody who's kind of moving up in that space.
Him and I have talked about
right?
this.
And it's interesting.
Howard Beck and I have talked about this.
Because those are the people that are even more directly affected. I laugh at it. I think it's nonsensical. I think the people that follow those people, I think I said, it speaks for themselves.
That's why it's like,
but look, Bryan's right about one thing. It's about to be that season where there's going to be
hashtag sources season.
Sources season.
Yes, SZN.
Yes, and this is going to be, a lot of this is going to be out there. A lot of it is going to be put out. I say by the time from the time the finals is over to the first week of free agency, a lot of nonsense will be put out there. Choose wisely, people.
Yeah.
Choose wisely.
Yeah. And look, and people wonder why certain other people like us maybe only listen to the same handful of reporters, because those are the ones doing it right. Those are the ones doing it at the highest level, and those are the ones who've been doing it. Now, you get people that come along every year that they get one or two things. Sure. Like I said, It's happened with me. It's happened with other people. Whatever. We're only talking about news breaking. We're not talking about overall content. That's a totally different discussion. But as it comes to news breaking, there are some other people that have come along every now and then. But again, you'll see the difference because certain people are working and other people are not, as Dexter alluded to. They're just giving off the appearance that they're working.
And I'm not necessarily bothered by it, but it is what it is. But like I said,
it annoys the hell out of me.
It does. Like I said, it's laughable to me. I just understand the season's coming, and I'm waiting to have more comedy. And when the ridiculous comes up, I think you do have to expose the ridiculousness. I have no problem doing that.
Which is why we're talking about it now.
And this is why
that's another issue. Is not enough people want to call out certain things.
And
by not enough people, I mean there are regular people like fans on Twitter, like things like that. Like they'll call it out. But I'm talking about other reporters, other media members should call this out.
I agree.
Should call this bullshit out.
I agree.
Honestly.
I agree. Honestly. You got to call it out. A new daily fantasy app for prop bets is here, and it's called Thrive Fantasy. Forget the old school way of DFS. Thrive Fantasy has streamlined the drafting process and eliminated the need to do unnecessary hours of research by using only top-tier athletes. That means no more salary cap. You just build your lineup around a list of prop bets. Here's how it works. For each contest, you choose 10 of the 20 prop bets plus 2 ice picks that protect you from any late scratches or postponed games. Each unique prop has an over and under point value assigned to it, and you will be rewarded that value if the prop is correct. So for example, if Tom Brady throws for over or under 250 yards, the less likely the prop is to occur, the more points the choice will be worth. You build your team score around the amount of correct prop bets you select. It's easy to play, so just check out the Thrive Fantasy link in the description of this podcast and get in the game with Thrive Fantasy today. Interestingly enough, number 45, President number 45, addressed the NFL draft of all things at a speaking engagement he had in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah, because never mind.
And very interesting. Most times, you'll get, I've never really heard the president talk about the NFL draft in any way I could think of.
Although it probably has happened. Because remember,
maybe that I could think of.
There was a point in time where he was at sporting events and people thought he was cool. And this was years before.
I just haven't heard him talk about the NFL draft. That's all I'm saying. And in terms of that, he did mention Kyler Murray, who was the first pick in the NFL draft. But he did mention the second pick and praised him, Nick Bosa, who's been really problematic, as he was seen due to a series of tweets he's had. And
it's not just the support for 45 either. It's the homophobic stuff,
racist stuff.
Yeah.
Super anti-Colin Kaepernick stuff he's retweeted.
Yeah.
Allegiances to white nationalists that we've seen as well in some of these tweets. And Trump praised him, Nick Bosa, who got picked second of the San Francisco 49ers.
Of all places.
Because
he said before the draft he's deleting his old tweets because he might go to San Francisco. And it's like, oh, you're done already. Like, we already know how you feel. Now, obviously, those fans are going to support him.
He's not done. That's what I was going to say. He's not.
No, not done in terms of, like, he's done as a person. But I'm saying done in terms of, like, we already know. We already know, like, how you feel.
Right.
And you're not gonna repair yourself. You're so strongly on that other side.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and it's not just on the side of like outwardly showing hate towards other groups, right? That's been out there. And then you have this guy is in office as a president who's going to endorse somebody who endorses that. Like, that's just like, wow. Yeah. Anyway, let's take a listen to what he had to say about
send audio?
Nick. It's in the Washington Post article. I said that.
Oh, wow.
I said.
Because you said it was on Twitter.
Listening.
But yeah,
I said no. It's in the article. If you go down, there's a couple tweets.
Oh boy,
you see it?
Yeah, and no, it's not even that. It's just like, because I was just thinking about this earlier, because I had listened to it earlier, and to say it was cringeworthy was like putting it mildly.
Try putting it mildly, but you can play the one you listened earlier that made you cringe. It's
Fine.
I was watching the other night the NFL draft. Can you believe it?
Oh,
he's such a dick. Can you hear him? Like,
I can't believe you were watching the NFL draft. Oh my God, because millions of people watch that every year. It's so shocking. Ugh.
All right. Anyway,
continue.
And it was the second draft choice, and he gets out. Bosa.
Yo, Kim Martin made she saw her tweet. She was like, listen to how he says his name.
Bosa. Like, he said it like something magical was supposed to appear. What? Like, what is that?
All right.
And he gets out he's going to be a great player from Ohio State.
Is he?
And he's a MAGA fan. He loves Trump. He loves MAGA. You got a lot of young people out there. You want to know the truth? I actually think we have more than they do. Who knows? But I think we have more than they do.
More than they do what?
He's going to have a great career. Last month.
All right. That was the sound. Courtesy of this Washington Post article. Aaron Rupar, I hope I'm saying your name right, on Twitter posted this. He is a reporter.
So what I'd seen on Twitter was some people started saying that, hey, this is ridiculous. He goes on to praise the second pick in the draft, doesn't praise the first pick in the draft, that he's praising the first pick in the draft was a black guy in Kyler Murray, second pick in the draft is a white guy in Nick Bosa, in which I'm like, that's not the issue, guys. Yeah, it's not the problem. If he really liked Nick Bosa, it's fine. The issue is the fact that It's somebody who has likened himself. I don't even care that he really likes his campaign or whatever like that. That's not even really the issue to me. It's the links to the white nationalism, the hate of other groups, the homophobia, the racist tweets that he's liked and retweeted. Yeah, you would think as a presidential candidate, you would not want to align yourself with that. However, we saw in 2016 that person did align themselves with that. So just interesting. Again, another bad link for the NFL, a league we've discussed many times about just how problematic it is, and how they even responded to Trump calling players SOBs last year. And this just goes again. They just can't distance themselves from this guy. They're linked to him in many kinds of ways. And Nick Bosa, I don't know if he's going to necessarily face the heat, Brian. I don't know if there's going to be things where he talks about this. I'm very intrigued to see where his first sit-down interview may come from.
Oh, man.
It's coming. I can say that. It's coming. It could be very interesting where it comes from.
I mean, and to play in San Francisco of all cities, that's interesting to me as well. San Francisco, by the way, former home of Colin Kaepernick. And also, statistically, because he's obviously had some homophobic tweets in his past, statistically, their gay community is one of the strongest in America, if not the strongest. I don't think people are going to be booing him there. I don't. I think there's going to be a lot of 49er fans supporting him. I don't know if that necessarily matters, but I think that I was trying to find a tweet that our boy Jamal Murphy tweeted out the other day that was funny. It was about all of this. I couldn't find it, but oh man, I think that with Kyler Murray not getting the support, as you said, is just more about who Nick Bosa is and how he aligns himself with that.
Right.
And as Robin Lundberg said a long time ago in our podcast, second episode, he said, if you support that dude still, then that's highly problematic too.
I think I saw him tweet that the other day. It might have been Jamal Murphy that tweeted that too. I think he said, like, what does it say about you?
Oh, that's what it means. No, Jamal Murphy, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, you're at least an idiot, at the very least. And which is funny to me. Not to get overly political, because this is not really overly political.
No, I don't think it is.
This is just an issue of like, yo, the president of the United States should not be aligning himself with really anybody from the NFL draft, but of all people, one of the more problematic people. But one of the reasons he's problematic and that came out was because of the president of the United States. So.
Who has aligned himself with the stuff that he was aligning himself with.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'm not necessarily shocked that number 45 said it. I'm really not, because he's shown himself before. Somebody shows you who they are, you take them for what they are. I think we all know who he is and what he is. Do I think it's ridiculous? Absolutely. Do I think Nick Bosa is going to be criticized for this? Here's what I find interesting that I will say about the NFL draft, which I paid pretty much no attention to.
I actually watched it.
If this was most of the kind of players, we've seen players all over the years. Nick Bosa's draft stock didn't slip because of this.
Oh.
You see where I'm going? How many times have other players done things that are problematic? They're off the field actions. Their actions on social media. His actions on social media are problematic. And if it was me, regardless of what my political stance is or affiliation, don't you want the people, not that everybody you draft is going to be a decent human being, but you want to try to get people with good character. When people go for work employment, employers can look at their employees, potential employees, Twitter, whatever else, see what they're posting.
The problem is the NFL has shown time and again that they don't care as a whole, as a whole.
Yeah.
Like look at what Tyreek Hill, look at the extent that this situation has to get to now be considered like, oh, okay, now maybe they'll get rid of him. But at the same time, I think he's still on the team as of now, right?
They won't get rid of him.
You don't think so at all?
No.
You don't think public pressure will even force that?
I don't know. I mean, it happened with AP, so I guess
I think it might. I think it might, but I don't think it'll be the end. I think we'll wait a year and somebody else will pick him up. The Cowboys.
I guess my issue is
Jerry Jones loves.
I guess my issue is character issues only seem to be an issue for certain people, and as your point you're making about at certain times.
Yeah.
Because you guys had an issue with all this stuff, or like you said, it had to come to this for Tyreek Hill to now be criticized, and we're talking about Tyreek Hill, Chiefs wide receiver, who has been accused of potentially being violent with his child and breaking his arm, and also potentially his girlfriend. And there's an audio recording of that. You can go look that up for yourself.
Or don't.
If
you really...
And choose not to be disturbed.
Yeah, if your stomach is sensitive to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I didn't hear the you're talking about like the exchange with the discussion between him and his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to that. Okay.
Yeah,
I did listen to that. Which was really disturbing.
I wasn't going to, but my brother insisted that I listen to it, just so that it's like, you should probably know how it went down, and I listened to it, and it's
yeah, not good. Anyway, he's fine, but somebody took a knee against police brutality and injustice, racial injustice, and that person doesn't play football anymore. So yeah, all you people will try to act like this isn't about this or it's not about that. Why aren't you? If you really cared about humanity, somebody did something for social injustice, for humanity, while somebody is actually against things for humanity, like Nick Bosa, and he's drafted number 2 in the NFL draft.
Like, we know where you stand. We know where the NFL stands.
Yep.
Like, we're pretty loud and clear on that. We're going to talk more about this in another episode because of that documentary that I mentioned.
Mention's coming up, which I'm very intrigued to watch.
I'll send you the link so you can watch it, but because they allowed me to do that. So
yes,
that's very nice.
I am very intrigued to watch that.
And then
we will have a discussion about that more when we can, and see if we can get some people around that to talk about it. All right, we're out of time. We have to get to numbers. It is number 78 for episode 78.
Speaking of 78,
all football players.
Speaking of NFL, it's all football players for 78. No NBA player ever wore the number. All the baseball players who only wore for like a season tops. One of them was actually Urias for the Dodgers, who's actually pretty good. And it was for a season. And then in hockey, I mean, come on. So we got Anthony Munoz. You remember him?
I do.
Did I say his name right?
Yep.
All right. Art Shell, Bruce Armstrong, Jackie Slater, Tariq Glenn, Richmond Webb, who was Dan Marino's left tackle for a long time. So shout out to him. Matt Burke, your boy Leon Lett.
Why is it my boy?
I always pick a weird one to make your boy. And Bruce Smith.
That's I like Bruce Smith. I go Bruce Smith.
Yeah, does he still have the most sacks ever?
I believe so.
I think he does. 200.
He definitely used the Bills. He definitely used the Bills in sacks. I can tell you that.
I mean, come on. You know, I like Tequila Spikes, but he didn't come close.
No. Now, Bruce Smith was a beast, man.
He had 200. Is he a compiler? He played 18
He didn't play for the Redskins after that, right?
Yeah.
He went to the Redskins after the Bills?
The Washington Racial Slurs.
Yes. I can't believe I said the name.
Yeah.
I don't ever do that.
You're going to have to censor yourself.
I will censor myself. I can't believe I said the name. Offensive. That is the team down in Washington.
Nah, he had a lot of because the people joke that people that play for a long period of time and they just have these exorbitant numbers.
I think it's amazing he played that long.
Nah, but not even that. It's like of the 19, by the way, 19 seasons he played, he had double-digit sacks 13 times.
That's not a compiler. How many sacks did he have in his last season in Washington?
5. Before that, he had 9.
That's still pretty good.
Before that, he had 5, and before that, he had 10. So at 40 years old, he had 5 sacks.
That's pretty
At
impressive.
40 years old, he had 5, and at 39, he had 9.
I don't know why he wanted to play that long. I hope his health is okay. Bruce Smith.
Right, yeah.
You think about that? I'm like, I hope his health is okay.
Although I will say this, and this is a totally other football discussion, but you know how some people don't want their kids to play football and things like that. Me, myself included, assuming I have one or two, that ends up being a guy because, you know, there's not that many football leagues for women. But, and it's kind of offensive that one of the only ones is a lingerie one, but I digress. So if you had a kid that really wanted to play football, let's say you had a son, what if they wanted to play corner? Would you be okay with that?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Definitely not safety. But corner? No?
Nope.
All right. I figure corner would be less punishment. You know what I mean? But you're not absolved of it.
Nah.
And if you're fast,
I just feel like if the kid's real good, at some point they're going to have him playing like corner and wide receiver. He's going to be taking all these hits. So at some point, no.
You'd prefer corner, you're 6'2", right? If you had a son, he'd probably be somewhere between 6 and 6'4". I like to play basketball. It'd be all right. Yeah. Or soccer. They could be like Sean Johnson.
I'd be fine for either of those sports.
They could be like Sean Johnson.
No to football.
Yeah.
You could.
There you go.
No to football. All right. That's it for this episode. We thank you for your support. Please continue to support us
Or baseball. They could be like Tim Anderson. Your boy.
That's my
Your
boy.
new favorite baseball
He's
player.
My new favorite baseball player. Shout out to Tim Anderson. Thank you for the continued support. Please be sure to leave us a rating on the podcast, especially if you listen on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a rating.
tpublic.com.
Also go to tpublic.com. You can get great gear like these beautiful mugs.
Yeah, there's not just shirts and hoodies. There's mugs. There's tote bags. There's notebooks. There's tank tops, which I'm actually going to buy a couple for the summer.
Ain't hard to tell tank tops for the summer.
Yes, I'm going to do that. Yeah, there's a couple other things too, but yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on there.
Also check out our survey. Please let us know any feedback, what you like, what you don't like, who you'd like to see come up on here as guests.
And tell them, not us, because you can put the pressure on them to come up here.
Yes, tell them they can come up here. Only the best come up here, as we always have there. So please continue to support us in all those ways, and check out our Patreon for exclusive content that we have coming out.
Nick Bosa blocked Mike Freeman on Twitter. I just saw him.
Interesting. Great. I bet you didn't. Why did he bet you didn't block Trump? That's a whole nother story. All right, that's it for episode 78 of the AHTT Podcast. For Bryan Fonseca, I'm Dexter. Until next time, y'all. Peace.